Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishna Abhitavai Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishna Abhitavai Shrimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Namane Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Gayataya Kripabhe Shri Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryoज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धा प्रसिद्धांत धवांत हारिणे. I don't say it every day. Hare Krishna. So thank you for this opportunity to be here with you. I was here last time 12 years, maybe, in your husband's house, that cottage, connected with, yeah?
Farm conference, probably. Was it farm conference?
Here?
Yeah.
I was in Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaja here.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Last time, I think.
Yes, it might have been 12 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so today we have a appearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is an amazing personality. It's, we can say, also controversial personality. As many Vaishnavas could be considered controversial from different angles of view, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a very revolutionary Vaishnava. Yeah, he was preaching in an amazing way, but he was also, how to say, doing things which were not very common for sadhus, like driving or having Jaguar cars in his mats. I don't remember exactly how many, at least 2 were there. And one was even brought to Vrindavan, for the parikrama by train, to be used there. So that was completely, the Babajis could not relate to it at all. They were just completely confused or disgusted or angry, whatever. And so there is a lot of things which could be said about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was speaking about this spiritual master, he often was telling Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada would be satisfied or wouldn't be satisfied because this is, and he was telling, as you have your Srila Prabhupada, me, I have my Srila Prabhupada. So that's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah, we usually call him Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Prabhupada called him Srila Prabhupada, as it was common in Gaudiya Math. So yeah, so this is, and it can be, so many things can be said about him, about his life and different pastimes and different points which he stressed very much in his preaching. So we will focus on a few, or 1 or 2, we will see. And yeah, one of the very important aspects of his preaching, which always come to my mind when we speak about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is his teaching about drashta and drashya, yeah? Seer and the seen. So it's completely, we are in the tendency of us conditioned souls to be in the position of seer. We have to see different things. That means practically the doer, the controller, the enjoyer, yeah? And then there is enjoyed, or the seen. And as Vaishnavas, we should become the seen, those who are seen by the Lord, who is the seer. We are the seen, not the seer. In the same way, we are not the enjoyer, we are enjoyed. So if we like it or not, we are supposed to be enjoyed by the Lord. For His enjoyment, we are created. Yeah? And for the purpose, we should live. And as Vaishnavas, we are trying to learn how to become good material for material, I mean spiritual material, for Krishna's enjoyment. So He can really enjoy us. Because, conditioned souls, it's not easy for Krishna to enjoy them, because it's mixed with so many not so tasty things. So the heart is impure, so we can't be enjoyed by Krishna, so we are enjoyed indirectly. Yeah? We will always serve to Krishna's enjoyment, but it will be indirect. It will be through His external energy, Maya. So we will serve Maya, and this is His energy. So in this way, indirectly, we will be engaged in the service of Krishna. But this service will not bring us any spiritual happiness, of course. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was stressing this, and even for Vaishnavas, for devotees, he stressed very much that we should behave as those who are supposed to be seen. Sometimes he was standing in the temple room, and he was very, very far from the deity, and deity was not very big. And the disciples asked him if he needs, these glasses to see the deity. He said, no, I'm not supposed to see. I'm here to be seen by the deity. So therefore also Lord Chaitanya was standing in such a place where Jagannath would look at him, because there was the great devotee, Garuda. And so Jagannath would see his devotee, so maybe he will see him. So in this mood we should come to the temple, not I want to see the deities and enjoy the deities and everything. Of course, it's a devotional service to see the form of a deity, but the mood must be different. Srila Prabhupada also realized this situation when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I think it was in Vrindavan, was giving a very, very long lecture. He was known for that, yeah. Very long lecture. Srila Prabhupada is different. Srila Prabhupada's lectures were even for today's standards in ISKCON quite short. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes a little longer, but usually something like that, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes less. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could speak for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Nobody of us wants to sit here for 6 hours now, yeah? We hope it will be maximum 40. And of course, there is no comparison between the speech of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and us or me. But so there was a very long lecture, and several devotees went gradually, disappeared from the lecture, because one reason was that there was some special darshan, going to be some special deity, some special darshan. There was a limited timings. They were in Vrindavan. They were, it was kind of an occasion to come to Vrindavan from West Bengal. It's quite far. In those days, it was something. So they wanted to see the deity, have the darshan, and they didn't stay for the whole class. Srila Prabhupada stayed. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also mentioned to others that he likes to listen. He really likes to listen. And Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, this is true. I really like to listen, my Guru Maharaj, although sometimes it was very difficult to follow, because his English was extremely difficult. And his Bengali, because I know my spiritual master, when he was writing the book, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaja, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was going through Bengali texts. And he knows Bengali. And he said, also, same, very difficult to understand. Even the local Bengali people who know Bengali and are educated, they had difficulty to explain what actually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati meant in his speech, by his speech. So, but Srila Prabhupada said, even if it was difficult, very difficult to sometimes understand all the concepts and all the words, I really like to listen to him. But these disciples, they went to see deities in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then later, said, so how was your eye gymnastics? You know, this is what is the use of it actually. You know, we should accept the Krishna's mercy through our ears when Sadhu is speaking, what we can do with our eyes. So he clearly gave the information that he was not pleased with that. That actually the Krishna is more there in the hearing of Sadhu, not in seeing the deity as we are supposed to see. Krishna is going to see us and he is watching us and seeing what is our approach. So this is very important aspect, that we do not try to become the enjoyers of devotional service, but we are serving in such a way that Krishna will be satisfied with our service. And then of course the satisfaction will come for us, this is there, but if we just want to enjoy nice kirtan and nice prasadam and nice deities, with the mood that I want to enjoy it and I want to be happy from the service of Krishna, but I want to be, that was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's strong point, that actually we should always think how to make Krishna happy and Guru happy and spiritual master happy. So yeah, this is one point which comes always to my mind when I remember Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his preaching. And yeah, he was an amazing personality, and he was trying to spread the mission of Srila Rupa Goswami. We are known as Rupanugas, followers of Srila Rupa Goswami specifically. We are not called, it's interesting, we are not called Chaitanyanugas, we are called Rupanugas as our branch of Vaishnavism. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually instructed Rupa and Sanatan to establish the philosophy and Siddhanta on the scriptural basis of Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So we follow them because they were instructed by Lord Chaitanya, and later it was completed by Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. But basically we are following Rupa Goswami, as he is considered to be the foremost Vaishnava of our tradition. We sometimes we are singing this Shat Goswami Ashtakam, where it is described Kaupina Kantha Shrito. They were just dressed in Kaupin. They were very renounced, living under the tree here and there, just Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vichitau. They were limiting their sleeping and eating and just very austere life. And the Babajis of Vrindavan and also Navadvip were trying to follow Rupa Goswami, and they also dressed like this, very loincloth, simple, and living very austerely. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati started to build big buildings and having a car and motorbikes. His sannyasis had motorbikes for preaching. So that looked like he is not real Rupanuga. But actually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was real, the best of the Rupanugas, because he understood the proper meaning of the message of Srila Rupa Goswami and the importance of this message to be spread all over the world. And he was doing adjustments in such a way that the message could be effectively spread. And he was not enjoying these cars or these mats, he was not enjoying, it was very clear. And also it is known that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before he started his preaching, actually he was living like Babaji's or even more austere life. He was just chanting all day, living in simple hut in Mayapur. And he was he made a vow to chant, 10 billions of holy names, something like that. So he was chanting 3 lakhs of holy name every day, at least. And he was chanting for several years like this. And in that period, Bhaktivinoda Thakur passed away, and Gaurkishordas Babaji passed away, and then he changed it, and he said, okay, I have to preach. And then he said, Dushtamana Punikishara Vaishnava. Yeah? Oh my dear mind, you are thinking you are a great Vaishnava, chanting here alone in secluded place. You are just a cheater. You know, this is just cheating. Let us, of course, he was completely in Krishna consciousness, but it gives us some message, yeah, if he speaks like this. So sometimes devotees come with this idea that we have to first chant 64 rounds and then we can preach. Or we have to first become pure devotees and develop our svabhava in spiritual world, or become raganuga bhaktas, and then we can preach. Because what will we preach if we are not self-realized? Of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was self-realized, Srila Prabhupada also, but they all engage their disciples in preaching, although they have not been on the very high levels of devotional service, because the process to come to those levels is to engage in the mission of the spiritual master, which is preaching. So we don't consider, when we are sometimes called as preachers, this devotee is a preacher, he's a book distributor, he's a preacher, he's doing programs, he's a preacher. We don't actually personally consider ourselves preachers. We consider ourselves assistants of Srila Prabhupada, who is a real preacher, we can say. But from another angle of view, we are also preachers. We are doing the work of preaching, but actually we are just assisting, repeating what we have been taught, distributing books, trying to share with people, explain in different words what we know from Siddhanta, and trying to convince them. But anyway, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, after this, he started his Gaudiya Math or Chaitanya Math, and started his preaching, and started to build big buildings, and started to organize, established organized religion, which was not very common in Vaishnava tradition till that time. Actually, as I've heard, he took this aspect from Ramakrishna mission, which he did not agree at all, and he was very antagonistic and very against their philosophy. But this aspect, that they had some organization and they have some buildings and system like that, how to do it, and to approach intelligentsia, influential people, that was functioning. So that's interesting. And he started this mission, and he started organized Vaishnavism as a Gaudiya Math, and then different maths grew up. And devotees have been living there. He established sannyas for Vaishnavas, which was not also common for the time. It was Babaji was there, Babaji ashram, but sannyas was considered as a part of Varnashrama, which is not pure Vaishnava standard. So he established this, although it is said that one should not take sannyas in Kali Yuga, but he explained this bogus sannyas for Mayavadis, but actually a real traditional Tridandi Vaishnava sannyas is needed. So that also was very revolutionary. Also the way he accepted sannyas was revolutionary. Yeah? Just he put the picture of his guru, who already passed away, and prepared danda, and that was it. And he took sannyas by himself, basically, you could say, like this. And but anyway, and with this organized religion, he also wrote this article. What was that article? It's Putana. Everybody remembers? I think it's called Putana something. And he describes how organized religion is actually the worst thing which can happen to the real spiritualism, because it will destroy everything. Because you can misuse the power of, that if you have anything organized, then you have the leaders and gurus and everything there is some system, and people will come into these positions of responsibility and influence with ulterior motives. And he said, in the same way as Kamsa was sending different demons to Vrindavan, in the same way, different demons are coming to, at that time, Gaudiya Math. Yeah? It could be applied to ISKCON also. And they will accept the leadership position, and there is no way how to pretend, prevent it. Yeah, there is no way. It will be there. It's just part of the concept of organized religion that there will be always somebody who will misuse. He will have wrong motivation and he will misuse the position which he will get. That does not mean that all the leaders are Kamsa's, followers and demons. It's not like that. I hope. And but it's there. It's like that. And then he said, but actually, still we need organized religion if we want to preach to the masses and effectively spread the message, systematically throughout the world. We need organization. So on one side we need it. On the other side, it will create some chaos, some problems. But that's the world we are living in. So it's like that. The same thing, he said, the worst thing which can happen to Vaishnava is to become a guru. Because Vaishnava is humble servant who is just seeing everybody more elevated than him. And then you are a guru and you have to sit on elevated platform, you have to preach, you have to chastise, you have to see mistakes. It's your service. You have to see this one is doing this wrong, this one is doing this wrong, you have to tell him, you have to rectify. What a service for a Vaishnava. Yeah? It's just completely opposite what Vaishnava should be. But still, for the sake of helping others, one has to accept this service for Krishna and just pray to Krishna that he will not become proud and puffed up and misuse the position. Same way as Brahma was praying, Krishna, I'm supposed to be creator here, but please don't let me to become proud. And he became proud anyway. Even he prayed, he became proud for some time. Yeah, he even tried to, go against Krishna. He stealed his friends and cows and he became proud. And so Krishna chastised him in his way. Brahma was even more confused after the Leela. So that's another thing. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, although he was seeing the things really deeply and he was explaining this is actually the problem, but it has to be done. The same thing. The Gaudiya Math must be organized, and he was specifically targeting the higher class of society that we can see. He was actually having quite close contact with Maharaj of Tripura. And it's a state in India, in this side, like Assam and these places. And so he was, and I think his brother was his kind of secretary of that Maharaj. I don't know what was the name. I think it was not Lalit Prasad, but another brother of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. I'm not sure exactly which one. Kamala Prasad or someone like that. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was also very close to him. Like Rupa and Sanatana were very close to Navagusa Shah. Like ministers. So also these Bhaktivinoda Thakur's sons were very close to this Maharaj of Tripura. And that was even before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started to chant in seclusion these unlimited numbers of rounds. So before that he was very known astrologer, Jyotish scholar, and he was known for his amazing brain and like that. So he was targeting these people, and for that he knew that if he wants to speak with them and also with Britishers, then he needs to approach them in different way. That because these ordinary Babajis, he could be just ordinary Babajis, but most probably he would attract just very ordinary, simple village people, which is also nice if they take to Krishna consciousness. But if we want to spread far and wide, it's good to have some higher class, because then the other people will follow. So that was his strategy, and for that he was accepting, although he was very renounced in his mentality, in his character, in his heart. He was very much renounced. So he accepted kind of luxury for being able to approach these high class people, and either Indian or Westerners. And for that he was wearing some coat or these leather shoes, just to be accepted as a person with some level of status in society, and use those cars and motorbikes. And as far as I recollect from what I have read, it was for sannyasis in Gaudiya Math. They were, if they want to go somewhere for their needs, they needed something from the shop or whatever they needed, they had to go barefoot and walking without shoes. They had to be very austere. But for preaching, they could use all these things, but for preaching, not for themselves. So, and they were very strict. There was one situation when two of them were traveling in a train, and as I am now also, leaning like this to the seat. Oh, you accepted a prostitute, yeah? You want to embrace a prostitute. So that was just his, making himself comfortable. So they sit like this, so they will not enjoy. This was already too much enjoyment. So we can't really imagine, with our Czech, Swedish, Russian, or whatever Polish brain we have, we can't imagine this kind of austerity. So they were very austere. Although they used all these things, it was used in the name of in the mood of Yukta Vairagya. That's another very misusable principle of devotional service. Oh, Prabhu is Divya Vairagya. Everything is Divya Vairagya. I buy new television, it's Yukta Vairagya. I watch only Krishna movies. Yes, and the new car, of course, it's Yukta Vairagya, because people will see how devotees are, quite wealthy, so they will also want to become a devotee if they see me in Porsche or Lamborghini. Of course, I'm giving extreme examples, but we can always think in our mind, if we are getting something which can be used in the mood of Yukta Vairagya, if there is that Vairagya included in our decision to use that object, so if it is not Yukta Bhoga, that we with some regulation we actually enjoy it, and we want it for ourselves, and then we somehow or other once in a year we will bring Maharaj from the airport with our Lamborghini, so then it's justified, it's actually for the service for Maharaj, Once in a year I go to the airport, and so I need such a car, there is no other option, sorry. Okay. Till 40? Yeah, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was clear that to follow Rupa Goswami in a stereotyped way will not work in his mission. So he adjusted and was working on the mission. And also this aspect is also not that much spread in Vaishnavism, that we have a mission. You are just a Babaji, you chant. That was just general understanding. Of course, the Vaishnavism in the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and before was in quite bad shape. There were many Babajis with Babajinis, and they had their Sevadasis, and their different things were going on. So Vaishnavism did not have a good name in society. But those who followed Vaishnavism, the tendency was not to have some mission. The mission Bhaktivinoda Thakur started it, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati very strongly established it. And then Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada actually really fulfilled the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And some of the Gaudiya mat devotees, as we call it. There are so many mats actually. It's not one Gaudiya mat, there are so like the followers of, or disciples of other Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's disciples. Some of them they don't acknowledge what Srila Prabhupada actually did. Some of them they do, but many of them they don't really. And there is maybe some feeling that they are the followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and we are a little, deviated, that we established our Srila Prabhupada as Srila Prabhupada, but the real Srila Prabhupada is only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and can be something like that. But they don't have monopoly on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and we are actually followers of the extraordinary disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, who really fulfilled the mission which his spiritual master had, and that is to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So we are supposed, all of us are supposed to represent Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in our lives and our preaching. And Srila Prabhupada, when we read about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, we can read how much, once Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaja said that one of the readers of his book about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava, so one of his godbrothers told him, I was amazed how much Srila Prabhupada actually followed his spiritual master. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, oh, how is it that you were amazed? Isn't that just obvious thing that if he is a disciple of, then he will follow? So sometimes we don't realize how much actually Srila Prabhupada is really closely following what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established. He actually just continued the same in little different form, but basically, his cutting technique, which Srila Prabhupada was so proud of. I have this cutting technique, karate. I found a weak spot and then I just cut into that one spot. When you are doing some martial art, when you see that his leg is already weak point, then you smash it once, second time, third time, fourth time, and then he will collapse because this is his weak point, and in this way you will get him. So Srila Prabhupada was using these examples, so that was coming from his spiritual master. So these are few points, meditations, thoughts on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, which I wanted to share with you. Hare Krishna, Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Somebody wants to add something to the senior Vaishnavas? I'm quite young to speak here actually. If not, we can continue with the program.
Yeah, sure we can sing. Now that we will sing Guru Ashkata. Somebody can sing. And no question.
I didn't even ask for questions, but I think if there is some question, we can leave it for other days. Now we have fixed schedule, so maybe we can have a bit more. But if there is something needed to be answered, then I can try. You have something? No. Okay.
Bhaktisiddhanta, so he has written a book about Bhaktisiddhanta, or even more than one before.
It's a trilogy. It's a compilation of 3 books. Yeah. It's a whole study of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's life, pastimes, preaching, way how he expressed himself, and many. I don't know if somebody must have here or not. I think it must be here in Almvik somewhere. So it's quite amazing book. It's very much appreciated in the broader circles of Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's quite a work. Sometimes he was asked, why is this so thick? How it became so thick? And he said, I'm sorry, it's so thin actually. It should be much thicker, but I had to put away so many things because I would never finish it. So he started to write it, if I remember, as a short like booklet about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because when he was traveling, preaching in Bangladesh and India, he was meeting different devotees from Gaudiya Math and hearing more and more about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, so he was very much attracted to him. So he started to collect all these stories and remembrances and like that, and so he was thinking, I will publish it as a small book, and then he started to work on it and get some more information, and it became bigger, and it took, I don't know how many, maybe 20 years for him to publish it. I remember on the camp, it was maybe 2001 or 2003 in Czech, he was telling, I'm working on this book and it will soon be published. And 10 years later, the book was still not there, or maybe 10 years later it came. So, it's like that. And now he is just publishing the book about Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission, which is also very important. It's also three volumes book, and it's on how Srila Prabhupada preached and where he wanted ISKCON to go. So we have direction like that. And so he wants to print it before Gaur Purnima, to gift it in Mayapur to all the GPC members and senior Vaishnavas gathered there. This is what so it will be another interesting publication. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.